Hello, in this video, we're going to see the use of fork with if and else. And remember, we're using the online compiler, which is this one here. So now to use the fork function, we need another library, which is called include unistd.h. And in this code, we'll be trying to see if else and fork together. So the first thing you want to do is define the function ID for the fork function. So you say int fn underscore ID equals fork, open close bracket, and a semicolon. And then you start with if and open a bracket. And if you remember in the last videos, we said that the function ID for the child process is 0. So if you say fn underscore ID equals 0, then open and close curly brackets, we'll print f. Just write the code for now. We'll try to understand what's going on. We'll say this is the child process with PID. If you remember in last video, we talked about PID and PPID. So if not, you can just take a look at the previous video to understand that. Okay, so it will say this is the child process. PID this. We can also say printf. We're still in child process. With parent ID. So we're going to find the process ID of the parent. And the function for that was take a look at the previous videos if you don't remember this. Okay, so what this will do is it'll give you the process ID for the child, and what this will do is will give you the process ID for the parent of the child. Then we say else. Open and close curly brackets. So this part will be the parent process. So you say printf. So we are in parent process now with PID. So this will give you the process ID of the parent. Let me see if I'm recording and the voice is going through. Yeah. And again, over here, you say get PID. Okay, and we can also try to print the process ID of the child here from the parent process. So let's see. Say parent process here with my child's ID. %d, comma. Now here's the thing. Over here, we'll have to put fn underscore ID. So now remember, the fn ID here comes over here because that is the child ID. So the return value of the fork function to the parent is actually the child's process ID. So once again, the return value of the fork function, which gets stored in here, is actually the process ID of the child. So just make a note about this. So in here, we'll try to get the child ID from here. And we can just do /n to get things in the next line. Okay, so now if I run this, what do you think will run first? Will the child process run first, or will the parent process run first? So this part here, remember, is the child part of the process, and this part here is the parent part of the process. So if I run this, let's see what happens. Hopefully no errors. So now if I run this, so look at this. First, the parent process gets run, right? So parent process with parent ID 83, parent process with my child ID 84. Now the child is saying my process ID is 84 and my parent's ID is 83, which can be verified here. So once again, the parent process gets run first and then the child process. But there are some situations in which you have to let the child process run first and then the parent process. So important bit here. So make a note, in this case, we need something called as the wait system call. So the wait system call is needed here. And what does that do? It waits for the process to change its state. So another thing to remember is the wait system call has to be used in the parent part of the process. So this is the parent part. So now if I put in here wait, open and close bracket, and in the bracket you have to put null. If you study this in a bit more detail, you will understand what is null, but we'll just do the basic part of it to put the wait system call in here. And now if I run this bit, you will see that the child process gets run first and then the parent process. So let's see if that works. So if I run this now, oh, very good. So now before you use the wait system call, you need one more library, which will be called #include sys/wait.h. Okay, so just make a note. To use the wait system call, you need one more library. And now hopefully it should run. All right, so let me just, this is a problem with the compiler. So let me just refresh it. Okay, let's see if we're not making any errors here. Okay, now if I run this, hopefully it should run. Okay, so this is the issue with the compiler, the online compiler. I'm going to try again. And let's try to run this again. Okay, so I'm just going to pause for a little bit and then come back with the video. Let's see if I'm able to pause this.